Hi and welcome, lovelies. Today is all about leg recovery. We need a peanut ball. If you do not have a peanut ball, I highly recommend that you get one just because they are amazing and there should be one in every home. If you don't have it, if you have like one of these like hard balls, and it doesn't even need to be specific for the purpose of kind of like myofascial release, it can be like a lacrosse ball or even a baseball or something like that, or a tennis ball. You can use that, but consider investing one of these. They're not expensive and they're awesome. You'll also need a block. And again, if you don't have a yoga block, it's a good investment. But you can use like a thick book or something like that, or a couple of books. So you kind of get 10 centimeters, 4 inches. All right, so we're going to start standing. We're going to start with the feet. So you're going to put your ball or your peanut ball on the ground, and you're just going to put your right foot on it, and you're going to start just kind of below the toes, and then just start rolling down your foot. And if you find spots, and you can go kind of up and down, and turn your foot a little bit. So you see I'm kind of going onto the inside of my foot. So I'm going to go on the outside. And you might find a spot that basically hurts like hell, because a lot of this is when you find those spots that really kind of need the release, it hurts. And if you find that spot, maybe just like stop it, hold it there. And it's always good that when we find that spot and we're pressing into it, add a little bit of movement. So maybe you're just trying to wiggle your toes. Makes it more intense, but the release is going to be so much better. You're just going to roll up and down. And the good thing about, or the interesting, it's interesting. Interesting thing about a myofascial release class, it really is about you exploring your body. So you're going to find the spots on your feet that needs the release. And it might be somewhere completely different than mine. So your rolling out your foot can look very different from me rolling out my foot. All right, come over onto the other side. Same thing. Just going to start rolling out. You're going to find somewhere, it's a good chance it's somewhere completely different. So like on this foot, I found a spot almost down by the heel. I'm going to add a little bit of toe wiggling. It's going to be one of those classes where the teacher makes a lot of weird noises. I apologize. And you're just going to move. Find those spots. And you can always come back to a spot if that was like, didn't quite release that. Go back and explore. All right, and release. And you're going to come down to seated. And from seated, we are going to start with the calf muscle. So I want you to sit down, right leg out in front. You're going to put the peanut ball kind of right below the knee. And then what I want you to do, I want you to cross your left ankle over your right leg, and then I want you to lift up, and maybe it's a good idea to maybe do it on your fist, it's just easier. And you're slowly going to roll back and forth in that calf muscle. So you're lifting your butt off the ground here. So you kind of almost got full body weight. And if you find that spot, I got one right up behind the knee. See, can you point and flex your foot? Ooh, it burns. And then lower down. And you're simply going to lower the ball a little bit lower. And again, cross the ankle over. And just roll up and down. So you're not going the full length of the calf. You're just moving within like 4 or 5 inches. And again, sure you're going to find another spot. Maybe add some pointing and flexing of your foot. Whew, God. This is so intense. And we all had different experiences here. Maybe your calf muscles are doing great today and this is not intense for you at all, which case, great. It's a nice little leisurely rollout and it might be intense AF. Okay, we're going to roll it down. This time, go all the way kind of down to your Achilles. And same thing. You're going to lift your butt off the ground. Just roll back and forth. And remember, if you find a particular spot in this class that is like, oh my God, come back to it afterwards. Again, see if you can add a little bit of movement with that foot. Ooh, just adds another dimension. And release. And come over to the other side. You're going to start at just below the back of the knee. Cross the ankle over, lift up, and roll back and forth. So what we're not really going to roll out today are the hamstrings. And the reason being, I don't think it's super effective with a peanut ball. But secondly, it's often, you know what, hamstrings tend to get like the bad rap. It's like, oh, those tight hamstrings. But it's so often that it is actually perpetuated and worsened by surrounding muscles being super tight. And once we start releasing those, you often start finding a bit of release in your hamstrings. All right, move the ball down. And again. Roll it out. And remember, this is your journey. So you might feel it's like, oh, I feel something to one side. Well, feel free to just kind of lean over and get that side of the leg, get that side of the calf muscle. And come down. And you're going to move it all the way down by the Achilles. And roll. Add that little movement. And release. Ooh, maybe give it a little rub down. This is intense work, it really is. So certainly for most of us. All right, you're going to take your ball, you're going to put it to your right butt cheek. And again, this is very much an exploration. So you're going to roll onto your butt cheek. You're just going to move it around. Going to find a spot. Once you've found your spot, start opening and closing that right knee. And then open it, and then straighten and bend the leg. And relax, and come over to the other side. Put your ball Roll around. Remember, might be somewhere completely different in your glutes on this side. And then kind of open your knee and close it. And again, lots of different experience. This is a very individual experience of this. So this might be super intense for you. This is less intense for me because I do this every day, this glute release. And open the knee and straighten and bend the leg. So something like straightening and bending the leg, it might be too much for you today, she says now on the second side. But it's okay that if this is so intense, it's just like impossible for you, just stick with opening and closing the leg. That's okay. Again, too late. And come to center. Then what we're going to do, we're going to put the ball, you got it kind of like top of your hip there, and then you got this little bone right here, kind of where your leg's starting. In between there on your side, I want you to put the ball. Boo. And then you can place your top leg in front just for support. Get on your elbow. And then try and lift that leg up. And lower. And lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. And then I want you to just lift up and place the peanut ball below that bone. Now we get to everybody's favorite, the IT band. And you're going to slowly start that little roll down, just like we did with the calf. For most of us, this is ridiculously intense. But it feels so good afterwards. Just slowly roll down again. You're just moving within, 4 or 5 inches. If you find a spot, hold it there a bit. I know you want to get off this. My private clients are always completely freaking out. But stay with it. All right. And you're simply going to roll down a little bit further. And again, you're just rolling up and back in a span of about 4 or 5 inches, 10, 12 centimeters, depending on where in the world you are. And then you're going to roll down a little bit further down towards the outside of the knee. If you've got knee issues, if you have knee pain, it's always worth rolling out. So if it's on the outside, roll out your IT band. If it's in the inside, roll out the kind of inside of your thigh. You can release a lot that way. Because often it's just tight muscles that start kind of pulling in that joint. And come on off. Whew. That's always an interesting one. Come on to the other side. And again, you're going to start in between these 2 bones. Place the ball. And come on to your side. And you're going to try and lift the leg up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And then go below the bone. And again, it's going to start rolling back and forth. This is just the one we should all do more of, but we don't. Because it's so unpleasant. But the thing is, if we did this every day, it wouldn't actually be unpleasant. At least you know I'm suffering with you. And move it a little bit further down. And further. And release. Ooh. All righty. You're going to move on to the inside of the thighs. Place your block on your mat. Place your ball on top. And then what we're going to do, you're going to come onto your belly. And you're going to start at the top here. So to start with, the ball is here. And then we're going to move the ball and block down to middle and down to the bottom, just above the knee. But we're going to start at the top of the thigh. And it's going to come onto your forearms and sink your body on top of that ball. And then I want you to start straightening and bending the knee. Again, this is one of those, it can be super intense. And then you're going to move the ball, or move your leg down. Move the ball, move the leg, whichever you choose. Anyway, we're kind of halfway down. Same thing. Bend and straighten. And move it down. Again, this is great if you got a sore knee, kind of on the inside of the knee. This is a nice release, also a very intense release. And release. Gonna come over to the other side. Again, start at the top of your thigh. And bend and straight. And then move it down. Again, the legs might be completely different. You might have one leg that's like, this is fine. And the other leg is like, sweet baby Jesus. it down. And again, bend and straight. And come on off. All right. Put the block aside. You're going to put the ball, it's kind of here, right at the top of your leg. You see you've got this big muscle that starts here and it goes down. You're going to basically put the peanut ball here. It'll be a little bit of a weird feeling right there. And I want you to have a nice straight leg, point your toes, and then can you lift the leg up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Roll it down a bit. And again, you're going to lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. Roll it down. Lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. Roll down even more. Lift, lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. And roll down a little bit more. You're getting fairly close to the knee now. Last one. Lift and lower, lift and lower, lift, lower, lift and lower. Come on to the other side. You're going to start up here. Again, nice straight legs, pointed toes, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. Roll it down, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. Roll it down, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. Roll it down and lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. Last one, roll it down, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. Come on up. Alrighty. So we've taken care of all the sides, still the hamstrings. If you have a foam roller, grab a foam roller. You can always just kind of roll that out. We're focusing on peanut ball today. And again, as I said, it's like I don't feel the peanut butter is peanut butter. My mind is somewhere else. Peanut butter. Peanut ball. I don't feel the peanut ball is super great to get really deep with the hamstrings. So I do recommend the foam roller if you feel you must roll them out today. But otherwise, I hope you've had a nice release in your legs. Have a great day. Namaste.